Hey guys, what's up? In this video, we're gonna talk about whether Roger can really go head to head in the EXP lane. I tried using Roger in this match, but before you copy this strategy or try using him yourself, you need to understand the consequences first. The very first thing you should know is that Roger is extremely squishy compared to other fighters, which means you're going to struggle a lot, especially when it comes to zoning. So if you're planning to use him in this lane, you need to be very careful and strategic with your positioning and decision making. And of course, since you're pretty squishy, you really need to make sure your positioning is on point. This isn't like using other EXP laners where you can just dive straight into a clash without thinking. Here, you have to be extra careful with where you stand and how you approach fights. And because I'm already used to playing Roger, I stick to the same combo patterns that I normally use when I play him as a jungler. I also make sure to respond and help out during the turtle fight, because as an EXP laner, it's part of my responsibility to support our core in securing objectives. Don't be like those players who almost never leave their lane and just stay focused on clearing minions. Even if you're using a different hero, even if it's someone like Layla in the EXP lane, you still need to show up and help, especially when it's about objectives. I see so many EXP laners who completely ignore their jungler because they're too busy clearing wave after wave of minions, and that's one of the main reasons why their team loses fights around important objectives. Your presence in those moments can make a huge difference. This is the second turtle, and as you can see, I'm here to help my teammates secure the objective. But because my defense is way lower compared to other EXP laners, I always make sure that I'm not the one standing in the middle of the fight. When you're playing Roger as an EXP laner, you're extremely easy to pick off, especially if you're up against someone like the enemy Guinevere I'm facing here. Just one full combo from her is enough to instantly delete you from the map. That's why positioning is everything. You have to know when to go in, when to back off, and how to contribute without putting yourself in a situation where you'll just get burst down right away. I did get taken down there, but it's not really a big deal because I also managed to kill their jungler, and that's one of the best targets you can eliminate in a match like this. Taking out the enemy jungler can completely change the flow of the game, especially around objectives like the turtle or lord. Even if I died, the trade was worth it because it slowed down their map control and gave my team a better chance to secure important objectives. And you might be wondering why I'm using Execute as my spell here. Well, sorry about that. I actually made a mistake. I forgot to change it during the picking phase, so I ended up going into the match with Execute instead of Flicker, which would have been the better choice for this situation. It still works, but Flicker definitely gives you more flexibility and survivability, especially since Roger is already pretty squishy. So yeah, my bad on that one, just bear with it. And of course, since our jungler's rotation was really good in this match, shout out to you, whoever you are, for doing such a great job. Your timing and map control made a huge difference for the whole team. Actually, this was only my first game using Roger in the EXP lane, and we still managed to win, which shows how much impact good teamwork and proper rotation can have on the outcome of a match. And right here, we're trying to finish the game, and at this point, there's really nothing our enemies can do anymore. We already have full control of the match, and with the momentum on our side, all that's left is to push forward and close it out. Everything we did from rotations to objective fights led us to this moment, and now it's just about ending the game strong. I decided to dive in here as well because I knew we had more than enough power to end the game. At this point, we were already far ahead, and there was no real threat left that could stop us. So instead of holding back, I went all in to help secure the final push and make sure we closed out the match right then and there. Victory! Unlike my first game, in this second match, I actually struggled quite a bit during the laning phase. I mean, come on. It's Roger versus CC. What can you really do against a CC in lane, right? I even tried to swap roles with our jungler earlier so I could take the jungle position instead, but he didn't want to switch, so I had no choice but to stay in the lane and fight it out against her. And here's what I've been doing to survive the lane. Playing it safe, focusing on positioning, and waiting for the right moments to trade instead of forcing fights I can't win. Here I tried to trade pokes with her, but honestly, it's just not possible to win those trades. She has way more sustain and pressure in the lane, and Roger simply can't match that kind of damage early on. No matter how careful I am, every time we exchange hits, I end up losing more HP than she does. That's why in situations like this, patience is key. You have to focus on surviving and waiting for the right opportunity rather than forcing fights you're not ready for. Our roamer probably noticed that I was having a hard time here, so he came over to help me. The problem was, their mid laner was also there, and because of that, our roamer ended up getting killed. Then Cece dove into my tower, and I managed to take her down, but I made a mistake with my jump, and that cost me my life too. It was a small misplay on my part, and in a tough matchup like this, even the tiniest mistake can easily get you punished. Here, I saw that Cece was already low on health, so I tried to poke her and finish her off. But even then, nothing really happened. My damage just wasn't enough. That's one of the biggest struggles when using Roger in the EXP lane early on. Your burst isn't strong enough yet to secure kills, especially against durable heroes like Cece. So even if you see an opening, you still have to be careful because forcing it without enough damage can easily backfire. So I decided to leave my lane for a while and farm in the top lane instead, because I really needed more damage. At that point, staying in lane and forcing fights I couldn't win would only put me further behind. By rotating and focusing on farming, I could build my core items faster and increase my damage output, which is crucial if I want to stand a chance against Cece and be more useful in team fights later on. At this point, I already had Sea Halberd. Honestly, I was planning to build Dominance Ice first since it's a really good counter against Cece, but because we were already ahead in the game, I decided not to go for it and just built Sea Halberd instead to boost my damage. The extra damage helped me become more impactful in fights and take down enemies faster, especially since our team had the upper hand. It was a small adjustment based on the situation, and sometimes, making choices like this can really help you keep the momentum going. And since we had already secured the Lord, we decided it was the perfect time to end the game. With the Lord pushing alongside us and our advantage growing even bigger, there was no reason to drag the match out any longer. All we needed to do was group up, push together, and finish strong to secure the victory. And that's it. If you want to use Roger in the EXP lane, you definitely can just make sure you understand the important things you need to keep in mind when playing him in that role. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Also, let me know in the comments section if there's anything I missed, or if you have other tips to share. Thanks again, and as always, keep grinding.